welcome to the Easter contest design evaluation. We've had a lot of cool designs this year, and we are joined here by Two Thingies from Vulkaza. So do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi.
Yeah, we are Two Thingies. I'm Luis.
I'm Uri.
And well, basically we are the Two Thingies.
And we have our eminent tech guy from Vulkaza here.
Yes, Øyvind here, the CTO and the product manager, dealing with all the tech and trying to make Vulkaza as great as it can be.
And I am AP. I'm the CEO of Vulkaza. I started this project 3 years ago during the Corona crisis as a way to manufacture protective gear, and now it has turned into this marketplace where we can actually showcase designers like you guys. So the first design we're looking at right now is from GULU Designs. His design is Ego. You've seen this before, right? Two Thingies.
Well, I think it's like a unique take on an Easter egg.
Yeah, it's an interpretation.
It's an interpretation.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's very abstract.
Yeah, quite abstract, but also quite nice of an Easter egg. And looks really nice as let's say lamp cover, lamp shape. It's quite unique, I think. Not the normal egg you will see.
Yeah, I mean, he's been able to kind of combine the normal egg shape with more of the kind of abstract organic shapes, and also use kind of 3D printing to the advantage, where it's kind of actually varying the thickness of the product, so you can actually create these shadows.
Yeah.
Øyvind?
Yeah, it's also a good sort of. I mean, it's an Easter egg, but it's to be honest, I mean, this is something you could have out all year round as well. But it's just going to blend in nicely as a little Easter decoration. I think that's a good. Always happy to see sort of things that you don't have to put away after just a week.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this is a good product all year round. This would be look great during as a sort of winter ornament as well. But you can clearly sort of see the Easter, what should I say, inspiration in it. So also.
Yeah. So the design comes from two parts. One is of course the bottom, which is fairly standard. I like how he's kind of kept the shapes. It's simple, with kind of without any overhangs. Just like keep it like this. Super printability. This one of course is more special because it's one solid object. But you want the top, so we're using what we call the semi-vase. But usually you remove the top layers, but here you have to remove the bottom layers. And it's so it actually slices up very nice with like kind of the shell. And these kind of varying lines going in and out, and then it closes off the top with this one. And of course, the bridging here is not perfect on the Arachne generator, I think.
But as a product, that's not really going to be visible either.
It's not going to be visible, and I think if you choose the correct parameter generator, it's going to be bridging much like a decent, good enough bridging, and it's going to close off and have a nice top layer. This is from Jajaum 3D, the guy that actually won the Christmas design contest.
Okay.
This
he has a lot to live up to.
He has a lot to live up to. This is this is one of the products we had to print at home, no, at the office, because it's bunny ears for headphones. So I was walking around one day at the office with these bunny ears.
Okay.
So do you want to go ahead?
Yeah. Yeah, from my perspective, it's quite creative. I mean, it's taking the advantage of 3D printing to make something that you can incorporate on existing existing things. I mean, headsets and headphones is something people already have, like on workplace or at home, and this incorporates into that. So I think that's quite creative to have, let's say, a little bit of fun to those things you already have. And I think on printability side, it's quite good. Like it took considerations for angles, like you can see, for example, under the ears, there's 45 degrees angles to improve the printability on that side. And also considering the fact that you have different parts, using different color insert to have this multicolor effect. I think it's
But at the same time, it's very simple to print.
it's simple to print, mostly the biggest part, but the screws, I think, could be a little bit more tricky. Let's say in terms of strength, like to have them work properly. But overall, I think it's good. Took good considerations for printability, and I think it's quite creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I like also here that he sort of found a way to make the entire thing printable, so you don't really need any sort of additional parts. He sort of added the fastening mechanism, the screw, as part of the 3D printed design, which makes it sort of much easier to make for yourself, because you don't need to take a trip to the hardware store as well. It's also, of course, fun that you can sort of pick and choose like the color combinations of the little inserts in the ears and the top themselves. They were a bit heavy to have on your headsets, so that's sort of the only criticism I can think of.
I mean, what I love about this is that it's over-engineered by as an engineer, I love it, because like these kind of he has actually placed these screws on the flat on the build plate, so you get the strength in the correct way. Because if you print them up, you get the strength, like it's not as strong because you have layer separation, and you have these end caps that snap on. And actually, like when you actually printed it, part of the fun of this project was actually snapping all the pieces together, because it was just like such a fun kind of thing itself to kind of snap together. It does require support for the overhang in front here, as you can see. So you need kind of the support on the build plate here for it to print correctly. But that's kind of and you have to kind of make sure you only support this part. So we haven't touched the aesthetics of this. What's your thoughts?
I think it's very fun as a design, and aesthetically, that's let's say adds an Easter touch to any place, like not only the design itself, but where you use it. You put on some headsets, and then it becomes a funny Easter decoration. So aesthetically, I think it's quite nice. It's fun on the fun side of things.
It's the fun side of aesthetics. It's like completely different from the previous one, where we're kind of, this is just for decoration, and it's just like really highlights kind of the what do you call it? Leans heavy into the aesthetics, while this leans heavy into the fun part of things.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go over to the next one, which is from Nagy Big. It's the egg holder sets. It actually comes in two different variants. You have this maximum size, or what he called maximum, and the minimalistic, which is more minimalistic, but still with some small couple of details on them.
Yeah, I think this one has sort of it's a sort of clean, nice little print, fairly simple to do. with sort of the maximum one, the version that we see here is sort of a bit more sort of complex when it comes to the shape. It's a bit more interesting and complex, while the minimal one is I mean, what I like with that one is that they sort of use the negative space, the hexagon openings to create a pattern, but which also, of course, makes it sort of a lighter, simpler product to print, because it actually, you know, it's faster and weighs less when it's less material. So I think that's a very...
Now it's the maximum egg holders, and it's like a 6-hour print, 50 grams. So clean, nice print.
Hmm.
And the minimal one.
You can fit quite a few of these on the plate at once as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a 1 hour, 40-minute print, 20 grams. So you could actually probably mass produce this one. Yeah, this is actually quite fun if you wanted to have a lot of egg holders.
Yeah, if you're getting a lot of guests over the next day, you actually have time to print it.
Yeah, exactly. You're running out of egg holders. No, cool design, very nice, simple prints. I'm of course a bit worried about exactly the strength of this corner here, or kind of this edge here. So it might. But I mean, I've printed kind of machine washable prints before. We're using kind of these filaments that harden over time. So I mean, you could probably print this or this have that you can harden with heat, and then it's actually possible to use them in the dishwasher as well.
Yeah, with annealing.
Yeah, exactly, annealing. And this is kind of also a good kind of in between kind of print that it touches food, but it's still kind of perfectly fine to use with food because it only holds the egg. So it's not like you actually use it to eat the egg. So it's like a very good way of using it for food stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, just a question. The part on the top where you were worried about the strength, is it wide enough to have how many parameters?
I think it's just 2 parameters.
Okay.
Until the last 2 ones are just 1 parameter, like where it's combined.
Okay.
And I mean, if you use the classic parameter generator here, I think it's going to be 2 all the way. Yeah, it's 2 all the way. And this is with a 0.6 millimeter nozzle, so it's like 1.2 millimeter or something like that.
Okay.
All right. But what I saw now that I didn't think of is that he actually made it quite a lot thicker in the bottom, which will add weight. So even if it's quite thin on the top, it will actually stand okay because it's more heavy on the bottom.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next one, which is Thiago Breda, which is a quite impressive design that he has made. You've seen it, of course, so you know what I'm talking about. It is this one. And I mean, I'm of course going to buy this for my kids. They are in love with Paw Patrol, and I think that also if you have a color printer, it would be possible to print this guy with a different filament as well.
Yeah.
So do you want to start talking about like the aesthetics?
Yeah. So I think this is quite impressive as a design. It's I mean, it's a bunny guiding a spaceship, right? And it has all these details. It has this it really looks like a toy I would buy. Like it really included all those details on the ship, on the hat of the toy, the little details on the face of the toy. It took really Yeah, I really took some time to include details on this. So it gives a unique aesthetic. Looks like modern, but also like kind of steampunk.
Had my fair share of Lord of the Rings and Warhammer inspiration, and I kind of feel the elven vibes of this one.
Also, too. That too.
Totally.
Totally. Those organic shapes on the
The
sides of the
lines,
sheep
everything.
reminds like some elvish making.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think this one is very fun. Like the design here is everything. It's sort of the sculpture itself that is is very cool. It's fun also because this is probably the most sort of what should I say? I mean, you can often tell what type of design tools are people using. The bunniers were sort of clearly made in a very sort of engineering heavy design tool. This is much more sort of the blender-ish mesh modeling type of product. And I think it's fun to sort of see the variation here also, that we have sort of people in all camps. The execution is great. I think this looks like a very professionally sculpted model.
Yeah.
So I love it.
You can see there are some kind of on the start of these shapes. You can see some overhangs.
Mm-hmm.
You can see, I think one of them starts with an island as well, right? So you have kind of this island that will kind of start in itself, but it's always on the undersides of the product, so it's not going to impact kind of the overall visual quality.
Yeah, I mean, overall, you can sort of see that the angles are all placed so that it can be printed without supports, which is, of course, a very smart thing to do.
Yeah.
It is heavy.
Yeah. Something I will only consider is maybe trying to print this, increasing the number of parameters and reducing the number of infill, like the infill percentage, to try to not make it that heavy or not to use that much filament.
Good point. All right. The last we have is from TomoDesign, which is Easter egg bunny. I mean, it feels like every time I'm going to present it, I'm smiling because like I love all of these ones. It's going to be really hard to actually rate some of these afterwards.
Yeah.
But you can see the design. This is of course the back, but this is the front. So it's it's a couple.
Mm-hmm. Cute little couple.
Cute little couple. And yeah, the aesthetics. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it's quite cute.
Okay.
Yeah, and really funny the fact that it's Easter, like it's an egg bunny, right?
Exactly.
It's quite creative on that side, and aesthetically, I think it's makes for a cute decoration you could have at home or at work. I mean, it's yeah, it has a unique look.
I like they're both similar but different.
Yeah, it included different combinations. So I mean, different expressions. So it gives you that idea. Like there's this species of egg bunnies that you can find and have different expressions.
He has kind of created his own universe of where these kind of exists, and you can. And I think he's very good at creating expressions in a very simplistic way.
Yes.
Because it captures kind of, you can sort of understand what these bunnies feel, even if it's not, even if it's just like very simple.
Yeah, very simple features to capture the expressions. So yeah, quite nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of stylized cartoonish overall. I think that's sort of good in its simplicity.
And you can see this is the slicing. I think it does require support on exactly one part of the product there.
Yeah.
Which is the bottom, the one there.
Yeah. So I think that's sort of the main critique I would give, that it's sort of a problem that could probably be solved. I mean, fairly easily, at least, by either bringing the air a bit closer to the body or just angling it a bit differently. Because I mean, the rest of the print is so simple that it's. I think he's tapered the bottom slightly just to make it a bit, which is also, I think, good. Often ends up looking quite good. But
yeah,
that one
tapering
does
the bottom here.
create some problems.
Yeah, I mean, it's the support here is not catastrophic, and it's like it doesn't build on the model itself. It only builds on the build plate. I mean, I think it's a good design choice to not kind of put the air into it, because I think like aesthetically, it kind of really adds to the value here. When it's actually sticking out a bit. I am guessing that Tomo has thought a lot about this, because I know him, and I know he hates almost supports as much as I do.
Yeah.
But I agree, for a full score on printability, there is still some support.
Yeah. No, I think it's makes it look more natural being in that position the ear. So and probably using like 3 supports, for example, could be also another way to.
Yeah, exactly, and the 3 support could be very good for this one as well, with the latest Prusa slicer. Are you using mostly Prusa slicer or Cura?
No, we are mostly using Prusa slicer.
Yeah. So you're
switched to the 2.6 yet.
You're I mean, I don't know why they call it the alpha anymore, because it feels like everybody's using the the alphas.
Yeah.
Always. All right. Now that we have a special guest here, I'm going to show a different picture again and see if we can have some additional comments on this one by the primary user. Kirsten, hvem er det? Do you want a plane like that? Yeah, I bet. So that's the main criteria, right? It fits the right audience. So you've had a couple of minutes to go over the designs and make up a rating. We're going to rate them on a scale from 1 to 10. I think it was super hard. I want to give everybody a 10, because they have each so much kind of different. So I had to kind of expand my 10 and just like pull some of them down, it feels like, just to kind of try to make at least some kind of rating.
Yeah.
I mean, there were obviously no bad submissions. So yeah, completely agree. It's hard to sort of hard to give the lower scores, and the lower still being high.
We're having a hard time. We're also like to give because one has to have. I mean, in the end, we will make an average, right? I think, but when you have to give higher numbers to one or another, and it's really hard.
Yeah. So let's start from the ones we had the most recent look at, the small Easter bunnies.
Okay.
And you can start. Two Thingies.
Yeah. Okay. So we really like the design. Out of 10, we will give it a 10. I mean,
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. So we really like the design. Out of 10, we are giving it an 8. Just because of the support material on the ear, on the printability side. All the rest, like we think it's really nice. Aesthetics and creativity are great on this design.
Yeah.
Øyvind?
Yes, I gave this one a 7. I think it's a sort of cute little minimalistic stylized design. It is fairly simple. There's it's sort of didn't score as highly because of that, and also I gave it a little minus for the supports. But yeah, overall good. But landed on a 7.
No, I am kind of, I gave it a higher score just because it's simple. I think it's like really hard to capture, to make kind of expressions in such a simple way. So I actually gave it a 9. It's like subtracted for having kind of the supports and but other than that, I really like the design, so I gave it a 9.
Okay.
The next one is the Captain Bunny. Do you want to start as well, this time as well?
Yeah.
Okay, to this one we give it 10. Yeah, 10, because it's really creative. It's also very Lord of the Rings and simple. The
Kind of steampunk aesthetics.
Yeah.
It's easy to print. It's
easy to print.
really easy to print.
Mm.
And it's both aesthetically and creative side. We think it's quite good.
Øyvind?
I gave this one a 9. I think this is a really beautifully sculpted design. And sort of the only detractor I had was that, with just a few more fairly simple touches, I think you could eliminate all of these sort of possible issues you could have when printing, like the little island and the overhang. So that's sort of the only criticism I have. I think that the design itself is really good. So yeah, a 9.
No, I almost feel bad because I gave this one an 8. I subtracted a bit, as you say, for kind of the islands and the overhangs, but also because it's not very Easter. It's it is my kids would absolutely love this, no matter if it was a bunny or a dog in the front seat. So it's like it's a nice Easter touch on a good product, but it's at least for me it wasn't that Easter design.
Okay.
All right, so I gave it an 8. The next one is the Nagy Big egg holder. Do you want to start again?
Yeah. Okay, so this one we gave it an 8 in this one. Mostly because we think it's quite creative.
easy to print.
It's easy to print, yes. But in terms of design, let's say for the Max version, we think it's if you want to make a few of these, it takes quite a lot of time. I think we rate higher the simpler version in this case.
Yep. Øyvind?
Yes. So my rating for this one was a 7. I think this one is also it's fairly simple, but it has a very sort of clear functional value, which I think is great. My sort of biggest worry here is probably the long-term lifetime, especially if it comes into contact with small children. And this is for the minimalistic one, right? Because the other one I think looks quite sturdy. You could probably even crack your egg on the edges here without worrying about it breaking. So I sort of think the big one is probably won't have that problem. But yeah, overall I landed on a 7 here. Probably just personal preferences.
Yeah. No. So I think it's a good design, very good printability. It has a functional value. It's completely fine, and I gave it an 8.
Okay.
Then we're going to go with the ears, which comes up here. What did you think there?
Well, this one we think is really funny.
Yeah.
We are giving it an 8. We gave a penalty for the supports. Other than that, we think aesthetically and creative side are really great. We really like it. It's something that really adds some fun elements to existing things like headsets.
Yeah.
Something people already have.
And I gave this one an 8. I think this is a fun product. It's as you sort of pointed out, AP, it's very well engineered in its own sort of strange little way. The sort of minus I gave was mostly for making the. I mean, it did make my headset a bit top heavy. It was sort of. It felt like it could probably be designed in a way that it would be a bit lighter. And not so sort of noticeable. But overall, I think it's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I ran around with it in the office for a good day, and I really liked it. But it's, as you say, you're not going to use it more than that. It's going to probably, I'm not going to use it again. I really love the over engineering of it and snapping everything together, and it's just like a really good. But just because of the utility or usability, I ended up with a 7.
Okay.
And then for the last one, the GULU Design Ego.
Okay. For this one we gave it a 9. It's we think it's a unique take on an Easter egg. I mean, it's quite modern. It's like we were discussing. It uses features of 3D printing to make something beautiful, different. Yes. So it's quite creative in that aspect, and it's as considered the printability also on the design. So yeah, we are giving it a 9. Something you can use probably also out of Easter week. So quite nice.
Yeah. And this one ended up being my favorite and the only perfect 10 I will give today. No, I think this one is I really like it. I mean, what stands out to me is the aesthetics here. I think this looks really beautiful. I think this is a sort of very good aesthetic design. It has a sort of, it's fast and easy to print. And it sort of uses 3D printing well to create these interesting features. When you turn the light on and you sort of get these vertical stripes that really pop. So I think this is a great product.
Yeah.
No real, nothing to say negative.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with you. I think this is like a very well thought out design, and I mean, it's obviously I lean towards the more simplistic kind of designs, but this is quite difficult to create in this way. So it's like, even if it ends up being a simple product, you can see he spent a lot of time creating it. So I'm also giving this one a 10. Good use of a 3D printer to create a good cool design. And that means that we have rated all of them. I tried to make the calculations on the side here quite fast as we went. So there are possibilities that I am not correct, but we have. We're going to go from the bottom to the top. The 2 on a shared 4th place is the Nagy Big egg holder and the ears from Jajam 3D with a total of 23 points. On 3rd place, you have the egg bunnies from TomoDesign with 24 points. The Captain Bunny from Thiago is on second place with 27 points. And the one we actually looked at last now is GULU Design is the highly rated in this evaluation with 29 points. One point short of a perfect 30.
Okay. Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us this Sunday morning.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
And I'm so excited. Tomorrow morning I'm going to put all of this on the front page of Vulkaza and send this to all my friends, because like I just want to like share all of this with the people.
Yeah. These were some nice designs, and it was hard for us to to give points to one another. So yeah, it's great. And
thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a good Sunday, and we'll definitely talk again.
Okay. Thank you. You too. Have a nice Sunday.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.